Here with the Oasis for Natural Healing. So I am extremely late tonight. Just jumping on real quick. Want to talk about parasite cleanses, die-off effects, and how do you handle them? And what are some of the symptoms that you can actually notice when you go after parasites? So first off, pretty much everybody has parasites. Okay, you got a pulse, you got a parasite. Actually, we have the biggest parasite challenge in my office. So whoever poops out the biggest worm gets a prize at the end of the month. And then I post them on Facebook and Instagram. And actually, I'm a little bit late. I actually just got last day of the month of October. I got a picture. I got to post that on Facebook and Instagram, but you guys will be seeing that pretty soon. So, but yeah, parasites cause tons of issues. Anywhere CDC actually recognizes this back in 2016. CDC actually did mention that parasites are linked to cancer, and somehow Western medicine does not seem to really recognize that. So everybody's got parasites. They can cause tons of issues, from anxiety, depression, sleeping issues, eczema, psoriasis. Pretty much anybody that I know that has gut issues, between colitis, Crohn's disease, acid reflux, nausea, bloating, diarrhea, IBS, constipation. Yeah, it can be all from parasites. Where do you get parasites from? Oh, parasites wind up any type of biting insect can transmit parasites. Mosquitoes, ticks, biting flies, spider bites. You can get it from swimming in a lake, swimming in an ocean, raw, eating sushi, raw meat, or rare cooked, steaks, from your pets, from the earth, from the soil, from gardening, from the beach, pretty much anywhere and everywhere. So why do people feel sick when they go after parasites? So you should feel better killing these suckers off if they're causing all these problems, like between headaches and all that other stuff, right? So what people don't realize is that a lot of times you're actually toxic. You actually have heavy metals and heavy chemicals in your system, which actually throw off your pH balance, and then your body cannot fight off parasitic infections like it should, or candida or bad bacteria or anything like that. And plus, our diets suck. They are designed to feed parasites. So these suckers have a wonderful party in your body, pretty much. Okay. And parasites will actually, in the beginning, they actually kind of help you. They actually will absorb heavy metals and heavy chemicals. Okay. But then as they multiply, and yes, they have little parties on the inside and they have little family parties. And yes, they can multiply and they become bigger and they reproduce and all that fun stuff. And as their numbers grow, then they cause issues. And they can change your behavior. They make you crave things like sugar cravings. They keep you up at night, crave, feel more itchy at night. Or are you waking up throughout the night? Or do you have vivid nightmares? Or all of a sudden in the middle of the night, you're hungry? Full moon or new moon irritate you? Chances are you got parasites. Okay. So these parasites will absorb a lot of these toxins. Large parasites, and I'm talking about large ones like several inches, or, really large ones like ruler sized long ones, can actually have microscopic or smaller parasites in them. Again, can have heavy metals and heavy chemicals because in the beginning, remember, they're absorbing all these toxins because you have toxins in your body. Parasites will absorb and kind of hold on to them, and they're called what we call chelators. They absorb toxins. So when we kill off parasites, guess what they release? All of that gunk, the heavy metals, the heavy chemicals. Large parasites can have smaller parasites in them, mold and Lyme disease, as well as candida and bad bacteria. So, if you do a really good parasite cleanse, you're going to feel like crap. If you do a good parasite cleanse, you're going to feel like crap in the beginning. Okay. You know that old saying, you feel worse before you feel better? Now, there are things that you can do to minimize those. So it's not so bad. And most patients of mine go flying through it with flying colors. There's an occasional patient here or there that has a little bit rougher time than others, but about 90% of my patients go flying through it with very, very minimal die off effects. Why is that? First off, I actually when a patient comes to me and if they actually are muscle testing for parasites, I actually prep their bodies for a good 2 weeks before we even consider going after parasites. What do I mean by prepping their bodies? Most patients, their drainage pathways are clogged. They're not able to excrete toxins. That's why they're sick in the first place. So, whether it's their lymphatic system, whether it's their kidneys, their bowels, their bladder, their liver, or any other organ. So you have your major drainage pathways, just like the ones that I mentioned, but then every single organ and tissue actually has its own detoxing and drainage mechanism to push out toxins. So your adrenal glands, for instance, have to be able to get rid of toxins. Your heart cells have to be able to push out toxins. Okay. So if your organs or tissues cannot detox itself properly and remove toxins from itself, then those pathways of those particular organs get clogged up too. So we make sure, first off, are all of your drainage pathways open? If they're not, then we're going to support them. Okay. We got to open up your drainage pathways first. Get your body ready for going after parasites or toxins, usually both. And then when we start, each person's a little bit different, but 99.9% of the patients that I work with minimally at least want a binder. What do I mean by that? So when the parasites release gunk and heavy metals and toxins and stuff, you want a supplement that will bind and will hold on to the toxins so they don't get reabsorbed in your body or just go free floating all over the place in your system, which is going to make you feel like poop. So over the counter stuff that you can do, charcoal, bentonite clay, those are good binders. Okay. We use something a little bit stronger and a little bit better. I actually muscle test. There's two brands that have really good binders. One is Alimentum Labs and one is Cellcore. Cellcore has multiple binders. So depending on which one you muscle test for is the one that we add on. Most of my patients, 99.9% of my patients want binders. Some people, surprisingly, only a few don't. They want just chelators and drainage. So what does a chelator do? So chelators, things like cilantro. Okay. Cilantro is a chelator. Chlorophyll, chlorella is a chelator. Chelator helps to kind of draw out toxins, so to speak. And then when we draw out toxins, then we want to bind it to something. So usually people want both, something to draw out toxins and then to have it bind to something. And then you want a drainage, something to drain so that way your urine, your poop can eliminate it. So we draw it out, bind it to something, and then you excrete it out. So, um, but by adding these things in or doing something like that, it will help to minimize the die off effects from killing a parasite. Okay. Sometimes you have to be very careful because if you do it well, and again, parasites can have mold and they can have Lyme or other small parasites. If you do it correctly and you kill off all these suckers, you probably will then wind up having symptoms of either mold exposure because that's going to be released. And so you want to, or Lyme or something else. And yeah, this is a real thing. This is why doing a really, really, really good parasite cleanse, you technically really should be under the care of a practitioner. So that way they can kind of monitor and guide you. Okay. And make sure that we're getting all of the gunk and you're on the right supplements to handle the gunk from killing off parasites. So, and this is sometimes why people don't feel well. All right. Most of my patients, like I said, fly through this with very minimal upset. Um, One of the other things that, and again, like I said, I prep people for that. One of my current patients, now she's one that's having a little bit of a more rough time, but she's also got a lot of things going on with her too. Okay, tons of things. And this woman is a trooper. Now, that being said, she's only been with me maybe a month and a half, maybe we're in the second month. And she came in with like headaches, like frequent headaches, migraines, um, um, and things like that. She had really bad IBS type symptoms, constipation, diarrhea, things like that. And she is actually, so even though she's having really bad die off effects, um, she's got vertigo. This is a new thing that she's developed is vertigo. And she is doing actually really well on everything else. And no more constipation, no more diarrhea. That's gone. Her migraines are gone. Her muscle cramping is gone. Her joint pain is decreased. Yes, and all of these things can actually be from parasites. Okay. So joint pain in her fingers are gone. Her joint pain in her knees are pretty much gone. Her appetite has improved, like sugar cravings, things like that. Um, but yeah, and her allergies have decreased. Yes, and parasites can actually cause allergies or like cause histamine reactions and things like that, depending on where they're at. Because guess what? Parasites can be in your liver, and your liver actually helps to break down histamine. So she's got really bad, she's her vertigo. She had really bad vertigo the last several days. And I've been seeing her like every couple days to monitor it and make adjustments as needed as we're killing off parasites. And she just started testing. Now, I have several different forms of chelators from several different companies, and her body specifically tested for a supplement called chlorophyll complex from Standard Process. Chlorophyll is fantastic, by the way. So it's the green stuff that, plants are made from. And this actually helps with tissue repair. It's great for the gut, great for the liver. Believe it helps with inflammation as well. And it's also a natural chelator. So she was on a binder, she was on drainage, but her body now, from killing off parasites for a while, her body now wanted a chelator. And by adding the chelator after muscle testing her for this, within 2 days, her vertigo dropped to half with just in 2 days, just by adding this on. So this is why it's really important to be monitored when you're doing a really true good parasite cleanse by a holistic practitioner. Okay. Because they can help you through this. All right. Muscle testing is the fastest, easiest way to find out exactly which supplements and how much of each supplements that your body specifically wants and needs. There are several different types of muscle testing. I have had patients that have said that they've gone to muscle testing practitioners and they said that it didn't work for them. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm certified in 5 different muscle testing techniques. Not all of them are created equal. Out of the 5, there's only 3 that I use. One of them is called quantum nutrition testing, one of the best ones out there. One of them is nutrition response testing. It's really good. The other one that I absolutely love and is a must is from Cellcore, a company that I actually use. They have one of the best muscle testing techniques out there, and I've had the privilege of learning from. So, and some of these actually allow me to actually, believe it or not, do muscle testing long distance. So I have patients in several different states, in Texas, in Michigan, and Wisconsin, Iowa, Florida, Arkansas, just to name a few. So this allows me to see patients long distance, whether they're in person or virtual, and find out exactly what you need. And again, so I've had patients that I've gone to see somebody with muscle tested and they muscle tested me and it didn't help. Not all muscle testing is created equal. So you have to make sure of what technique that they're certified in. Um, So if you want help, my suggestion is to find a practitioner who's certified in quantum nutrition testing, who's certified, or you can call Cellcore and see if they have, a list of practitioners. I'm not sure if they do or not. But you can call Cellcore, see if somebody has gone through their program and is a muscle testing practitioner. Or if this resonated with you, give us a call. We can help you do a parasite detox and parasite cleanse and help you when you start killing off those little suckers. Because I guarantee you that if you're doing it correctly, you are going to have some sort of die off effect. It just doesn't have to be debilitating. Okay. So most of my patients have a little bit of nausea or a little bit of bloating or a little bit of gas, or a very mild headache, but I usually prep them for a couple weeks before we even consider going after parasites, and they usually fly through it with flying colors, okay? And if they wind up with a hiccup, like my patient who had, her vertigo got kind of bad really fast, it was an easy fix. It's down to half within 2 days. So, and I anticipate that it will be pretty much gone very quickly, okay? So, and that way she's not spending, because as I've heard of some people going through die-off effects and it lasts quite a while, and that's just ridiculous. And apparently, I don't know what just happened, but apparently my webcam just kind of stopped. So hopefully there's no glitch in this. So if you would like help, comment, give us a call, find out more about what we do. 708 554 6730.